Good morning, sewing friends. Welcome to my sewing room. My name is Beth, and some of you may remember this quilt I put together a while back. I'll leave the link in the description box below. I had these two leftover stars and some other pieces, and I put it together, and I had a question, and I love questions. The question was about this particular star called Robbing Peter to Pay Paul, and what I did is I figured out how to make that star block. I started out with a 4.5-inch square for the center. Then I needed some sort of bars to go around with the background fabric. Those are 4.5 by 2.5. Then I needed some half square triangles. So I need 6 of each of that rust color and the background fabric to make 12 half square triangles. I need 8 2.5-inch squares of the rust color, and I need 4 of the background at 2.5 by 2.5, and all of that will be down in the description box. Now, first thing I did was to make my half square triangles. I put right sides together with my 3-inch squares, and I trimmed these down when I was done to 2.5 inches. And if you don't get quite 2.5 inches after doing this, just make these squares a little bit bigger and you'll be fine. So I drew a line on this first one to show you that I can just use that pencil line and sew on either side of the pencil line, cut down the center, press it open, and trim to 2.5 inches. Now that I'm trimming all my little half square triangles, I need 12 of these using those 6 squares. Had just a little bit of this leftover trimmings to put in the trash, and now I'll make the other element to this block. I need 4 of these bars. They're flying geese units, so I'm going to take my 2.5-inch square, put it on top of that 4.5 by 2.5-inch piece, draw a line, and I'm doing it with pen so you can see here, and I will be sewing right on top of that line that I drew. I'm going to make sure that my triangle covers that section, that area, before I trim away, and this time I will sew another seam so I can have that bonus half square triangle to use for another project. So I will do the same thing on the other side, put my 2.5-inch square down, and it does overlap that first one just a little bit. I'll sew along the line and do the same thing on this side. After I have all my pieces done, I get to put this block together. This is the fun part. So I'm going to start with that center square, and I will lay those 4 bars all the way around that center 4.5-inch square. triangles with the rust color pointing in. I'll add my flying geese all the way around, sort of in the center there. I'll put my background squares in the corner of my block, and then I only have a few more to put in here, and these little half square triangles will point out, or towards each other, I should say. Now all I have to do is sew these rows together and try to keep everything oriented the right way, because those half square triangles go this way and that, but I just tried to keep everything sort of laid out the way that I had it, and to get this block together. This is such a pretty block I enjoyed putting together. And some of you may remember that I am trying to get a set of table mats made for a spring event I have coming up. And I need about 10 to 12 little small quilts for tables. So I'm going to grow this one using some more of those flying geese units. I made the same kind of flying geese with the different fabrics, and then I cut some 2.5 inch squares, and I made some half square triangles that were 2.5 inches, and I just had fun laying out a bigger block. This table mat is almost done. I will not be quilting it or finishing it today, but it's all ready to go. I'll probably sit down in the future and quilt my little table mats. My goal is 10 to 12 of these little small quilts for the springtime to auction off. So thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.